All right, welcome to the training on referrals. Let's go ahead and jump in. 91% of customers are willing to give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople ask. That's a really important thing for each of you guys to understand is there are referrals everywhere if you're just more intentional about it. Here's another really important thing, though. How you ask matters. You just can't go around saying, hey, want to give me a referral? It's a little bit more complex than that. But what we'll find today in our training is it also can be really simple because it's just a process of steps that make your customer comfortable. And so today we're going to talk about why people are not giving you referrals, how to ask, and then how to ask specifically at the end of a one-on-one, and how to reach back out to previous customers. So here we go. Why don't people give referrals? Well, the number one reason they don't give you referrals is you don't ask for them. That's that 91% of people are willing to give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople ask. The second reason people don't give you referrals is because what you say is horrible. And what I mean by that is it's not very effective. So to just say, hey, who do you know that wants to buy essential oils? Or something like that, that is not a super effective approach. So if you've been using that and you've been using it consistently and you're still frustrated with the results, the good news is there's hope. We can actually change what you say to improve your results. Third is you're not confident. You're super confident. You're like, this Home Essentials kit is $275. It's going to just change everything about your life. And then you get to referrals and you're like, do you think maybe possibly you could recommend someone to me? And that lack of confidence will instill a lack of confidence in your customer. You have to be confident. The fourth reason people don't give you referrals has to do with their own sales experience. So if you did your one-on-one or your class and it was 2 hours or 3 hours, your customers are going to be less likely to recommend you because they think that their friends are busy and they might not have time for it. So again, it comes back to a really simple, high converting sales conversation. Now, if they bought, but you didn't do a sales conversation, this will also decrease the amount of referrals you give. So let's say the way you sold them a kit was that you saw that they were ill on Facebook, you sent them a sample, and then you followed up forever and ever, like 6 months, and then they finally bought a kit. Well, that's great. You got a customer and they have their kit, but that's their experience. And so, they might not want an experience for their friends, or they might be uncomfortable with that, like that they would be called for 6 months, depending on that situation. So really, you'll get way more referrals when you have a brief 30 to 40 minute sales conversation. It's tight. You have a high closing percentage. It's an enjoyable experience for everyone involved. And it's easy. The fifth reason people don't give you referrals is because they're trying to find you someone perfect. So if you ask for someone who's interested in the oils, they might say, hold on, let me think about it. And then they're going and asking all their friends, are they interested in the oils? Well, that conversation always goes really, really poorly because your customer is not trained. So here's how this goes down. Hey, I have these essential oils. I love them. Here, try some. Would you like to get some? I can get you in contact with my person. Well, how much are they? Then that conversation happens. Value hasn't built appropriately, and then that kind of gets burned. So a lot of times when we ask for referrals, we're asking for something so specific, we don't realize it, and our customer's just taking our lead. We think they don't want to give us referrals, but actually they're just listening to us. So keep that in mind. There are 7 steps for your approach. And this might seem very complicated, but it's really not. And I'm going to break it down in just a moment. First thing you want to do is always gain positive feedback. Why is this important? Well, you want to get your customer in a zone of like, yeah, this was awesome. Second, you want to explain why you're asking for referrals. They don't know why. So you're going to talk a little bit about your vision or how you acquire customers and explain the value of referrals to you. Third, you want to explain who you are looking for. You're not looking for people that they know will buy oils. You are looking for people that are in your target market, and you want to make sure that your customer understands that you're not going to put a lot of pressure on them. So we're going to explain that to the customer so they feel more comfortable. Fourth key, ask for a specific number. Customers will typically give you half of whatever you ask for. So ask for 10, they'll likely give you 5. Ask for 5, they'll likely give you 2 or 3. Ask for as many as you want, they might put down 1. The fifth step is bribery. Works really, really well. So I want to encourage you to give them an incentive for every 5 referrals they give you. The sixth step is to give them specific instructions to write it down, and you want to get them there, not later. And then the seventh is give them space. You can't just stare at them awkwardly. They're not going to write. You need to be able to leave or do something, like maybe go to the restroom or go fill up your water or make them a roller bottle or just something so you're not staring at them the whole time. So let me show you how this actually plays out. So, because you're probably asking, what the heck do I actually say? All right, so here's the core approach. And I wrote down the words over to the left, and to the right, you can see the corresponding, like which step it is. So I tried to line them up as best as possible to help you to understand. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll through the approach. This would be like at the end of a one-on-one. Okay, so how'd you like the presentation? They say it was great. Oh, it was wonderful. So helpful. Thank you. Okay, great. Now, I really focus on helping as many people as possible, and I typically only meet with people I know or people who've been recommended to me. My ideal person is a mom who cares about keeping their family healthy. Now, remember, they don't have to buy anything. I'll just call them to see if they would like to learn about it, and then it's up to them. Here's a pen and my notebook to write them down. Feel free to use your phone to remember people. Now, I'd love it if you would jot down 10, and for every 5, I'll give you a free roller bottle blend, and I'll make it for you right now. So I'll get started on your first blend and clean up this mess while you're working on that. And that's it. And when you explain it that way, customers feel really comfortable because they know what they're going to do with the information. They know you're not going to freak them out. They've already given you feedback that you like the presentation, or they like the presentation, so you're in good shape. Okay. Next, asking previous customers. I'm going to go ahead and give a caveat here that asking customers at the end of your one-on-one is by far the best statistics for success. So if you haven't asked them for referrals, I'm going to teach you an approach to ask for your previous customers. I do just want to let you know that this is a higher difficulty, and your success rates won't be as high. So when you ask at the end of a one-on-one, I would expect like 8 out of 10 people to give you the referrals. When you're asking previous customers, those ratios, because it's not as fluid, I would say maybe 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 will give you a couple of referrals. So I just want to set your expectations so that you don't get super discouraged on this approach. Okay, so here's how it would go, right? I would call, hey, I'm calling because I'm trying to beef up my testimonials for my appointments. Do you have an amazing story you can share with me? And then I'm going to write down their story and their testimonial so that I can use it in my appointments. Granted, they need to have one, right? And so then I would say, okay, well, with such a great story, I'm sure you know someone who really needs to be connected with this. And either you can't convince them to get them or you keep forgetting. I typically meet with people I either know or I've been recommended. So I'll just give them a quick call and see if they'd like to learn more. And if they don't, no worries. Who is just one person that comes to mind? And they say, oh my gosh, this person. Okay, great. Well, what's the best way to reach them? So now I got that one referral. Okay, great. Well, for each person I'm actually able to meet with, or if you give me 5 people to call, I'll hook you up with a free rollerball blend. Would it be too much trouble to text me the rest? No, that sounds good. Okay, great. Well, if I don't hear back from you tomorrow, would that be too soon to follow up? So I'm going to give them a little bit of space, but I'm going to ask a really good question at the end to encourage that follow-up for the next day so that they kind of, just hop on it. So that's how I would recommend to ask previous customers. Now, I want to leave you with some additional keys to success and things to think about. The first is to not overthink it. Just make it part of your process and be unemotional about it. I really think it's important to understand the 20-60-20 rule of sales, which is 20% will no matter what, 20% will not no matter what, and this other 60% is up to you. So this applies to sales, but this also applies to referrals. So 20% of people, and you already know these people, they'll give you referrals no matter what. You've already gotten those referrals. 20% will not give them to you no matter what. That other 60% is up to you. So just make it part of your process and you'll be a lot less emotionally invested. You won't take it so personally and you'll get better results. Second, ask at the end of the appointment since they're at the height of the motivation. You are not asking for referrals of people who will buy or people who will love oils, okay? Because you wouldn't be able to ask for those types of people until they had an experience. What you're asking for are people that would be willing to meet with you and learn about essential oils through the presentation or the appointment that you just did. So you're asking for a recommendation on the appointment. You're not asking for a recommendation on the sale or the use of the oils. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's why it's really important to ask at the end of the appointment and not later, because they won't remember the appointment. They'll think you're asking them for buyers. Also, this is important because you want to still ask no sales. Most no sales are not because of they don't like the product. Maybe it's out of their budget or whatever reason, right? So if you ask at the end of the appointment, people that don't buy are actually more likely to give you referrals, and the people that they know are still really great prospects. And the best part about it is then you can leave them with a blend even though they didn't buy, so they'll be really happy. They'll feel really good about the experience and you'll get great referrals. The fourth key to success is to memorize the approach word for word. Now, with your sales conversation outline, like your one-on-one outline, go ahead and use the outline when you're teaching. But this, you need to be super confident. So you need to memorize it word for word. And the last key to success is to have fun. Don't freak out about the referrals. Remember, you are there to impact your community and make a change and have confidence in that. When you're asking for referrals, you're going to start getting stories of people who have been referred to you and you have changed their life. And that's going to create great momentum in your business. So those are the additional keys to success. I wish you the best of luck in getting tons and tons of referrals. This is the key, really one of the biggest keys to your business, because it's going to keep a steady flow of customers for you month after month after month, and you'll be able to train your team to get referrals so that they have a steady flow of enrollments month after month after month. Then you have a bigger pool to recruit from, and so on and so forth. And of course, you're impacting your community. So I hope you loved this training, and good luck in the rest of Elite Maker.